Module 1, we're going to talk about guarding your schedule. The most common question I get asked is, how do I get rid of the chaos in our office? Here's my answer. You don't. But you can learn how to organize your chaos so that you're controlling it, it's not controlling you. And the best way that I know how to do that is to guard your schedule. Now, every appointment takes a little bit more time or a little bit less time for the doctor, for the CA, or for the patient. And so for that reason, we know how long it takes Dr. Mike for every appointment time we have. Whether it be a new patient, whether it be a day 2 report of finding, whether it be a progressive report of finding, whether it be an adjustment, whether it's a maintenance adjustment or a care plan where they're doing some rehab and therapy within that time, we know what time it takes for the patient, what time it takes for the doctor, and what time it takes for the CA. And you need to know how those things work together to make your schedule. There isn't one magic formula for how to organize that schedule. What you need to know is that you need to have specific time set aside for new patients, for day 2 report of findings, and for your adjustments. And know what time the doctor needs. If the doctor's doing the therapy and we don't have a CA to do it, or if the CA is doing the therapy and all the check-in and check-out, then you need to make sure that you have a schedule flow that allows you to have the time you need. In our office, we have 3 CAs, and so Dr. Mike, when we are in adjusting, he is adjusting the patients, and CAs are taking care of the therapy, but we also have a CA that's checking in and checking out. And we're cross-trained on everything, so at a moment's notice, everyone can be filling in and supporting one another. Now, how do we look at the schedule and know what to expect? We color code. And in your packet, you'll have a detailed description on what our colors mean and how we put them into our schedule. You can adopt our colors, you can make up your own colors. But the importance of the colors is someone can look and say, oh, we've got a new patient and a report of finding and another report of finding. Do I have time to do 2 new patients or can I do 1? And you know, because when you put in 2 new patients when you only have time for 1, then what happens is that chaos starts to control you. And I understand that doctors say we need to get the new patients in, and I absolutely agree. So make sure that you have a plan with your doc in that situation, how you handle it. Do you put them in? Do you put them earlier? We can look at the schedule and say, you know what, we don't have a whole lot of regular maintenance of patients at this time. We can squeeze them in here. We'll just let them know that it's going to take a little more time than normal, but we know how to make it work. And when you have your schedule set out into those times, and at a moment's notice when you have a new patient on the phone, and you can look at the colors on your appointment schedule, and you know where you can squeeze someone in, that's how you control the chaos. The other thing you want to do with guarding your schedule is you want to make sure in the morning and after lunch that you have a little 5-minute powwow. We call it the team huddle. And you're going to look at the day and you're going to say, okay, at this time it gets really heavy with rehab, so I'm going to need Kara to help back up Diane. Or we've got a lot of new patients here, I'm going to need Diane to help back up Michelle because Michelle's doing x-rays, but Kara or Diane can also do the posture picture. And so we know how to support one another and how to make that flow work, so we can make room in our schedule for the new patients because your doctors are doing such a great job with their community education, or you're doing such a great job with your patient referral basis, which we'll get to in another module. But you understand that when we sit and we look at what we have in the morning, then we know we have a plan. And when everyone has a plan and knows what to get done because you're going to be needed to back up here, you organize the chaos in your office. And front desk, I always say you're in charge of that flow. But you're also in charge of making sure that your teammates understand that flow and can guard the schedule. So they're not going to take a new patient phone call and put them in a time that is so full of adjustments that new patients just don't fit. So when I say guard the schedule, it is up to everyone to understand the flow and to keep that. And when we control the conversation with our patients, when we know how to make an appointment and we know how to guide that patient towards a time that works, this is why that is so important. Because this comes into guarding that schedule, and we take our patients and we lead them towards times that fits them but fits us, so that everyone, when we see 100 people a day, everyone feels like they were the most important and they were the only person there, and that they have the experience and the healing atmosphere they need and they deserve. So, making sure that you have a specific time frame of when certain appointments will happen to guard the schedule, to guard your time, to guard the doctor's time, and to guard your patient's time. This is why we guard the schedule, and this is how we take control of the chaos and make it work for us, not against us.